People who are in charge of my life decided that there weren't enough plot twists, so he ended up stealing my car and leaving me stranded in Parry Sound. Yeah, what a trip. And when I found out recently, who here saw my newest movie, And Then Some? And Then Some?
Oh, yeah.
What I found out, wait till you see this, folks. They have a new Passenger Protect program, correct? Now, in this Passenger Protect program, if your name is on the list of specified persons, you're not allowed to fly. Now, in order to determine whether or not your name is on this list, they have to see government-issued identification. They will accept nothing else. Now, I've got a notarized affidavit with my picture on it. I've used it to fly before. And when I went to the airport, the guy's there and he goes, oh, you got a problem with your ID or something? I said, why? What's it say there? And I read it real quick. It said that Transport Canada knew who I was, that although I wasn't on the no-fly list, that unless I had government-issued identification, I couldn't fly. Now, the problem with this, folks, is when was the last time you were ever issued anything by anyone and you weren't in a contract with them, either as an employee or in a trust? If you have government-issued identification, you are a government employee, or even worse, you're what is called a ward of the state or a child of your province. When you go out now and you fly, it used to be we had the right to fly domestically. What they've done, they've caused us all to abandon that. Now when we fly, we're merely flying with their permission, which they can revoke at any time. Is there someone here?
No.
No? And I didn't like that at all. To me, I do not see the need to abandon a large body of rights in order to exercise what is essentially now just a privilege. And that's one of the things that I didn't like. So I checked out their entire regulations and whatnot, and I looked into it. And what it says, when you're traveling internationally, the airlines have a duty to see your passport. They are required to see it. If you're flying domestically, they are required to ask for government-issued identification. That's it. There's nothing in there that says, if he says no, you can deny him. Now the people, here's a quick impression for you, because I went and I tried to talk to some people in WestJet. I got on some forums, started talking to them about it. And this is my impression of a WestJet employee using logic, reason, to discuss these regulations. Nanny says, la 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 la, Nanny says, la 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 la. There's absolutely, it's mind-boggling how incredibly stupid some of these people were. And they say, oh, the law changed because of this regulation. Folks, regulations do not define the law. The law is a body of concepts that changes very, very, very slowly. It's like a mountain. The wind might erode it a little bit, but it never changes quickly. If it does have a rapid change, it's usually catastrophic. The way I look at it, the mountain is the law. And when they create statutes or acts, what they're doing is they're creating a path on the mountain. And then they create regulations. These are the arm rails or the guardrails along the path. But they can't say, oh, well, we created these new regulations, so now the mountain is there magically. It doesn't exist. The regulations do not change the law. They are bound by the law. But try telling some of these people that, and the reason is, it is so much easier to not think and to allow other people to do that for you. Hi, welcome. No worries, Rob. Give you a little ketchup. Smell the bacon. It's not your breakfast. Your ass is in the fire. Fairy tale Santa was a lie. Snow White was a lie. Jack and Jill went up the hill. They became prostitutes and drunks. Jack and the Beanstalk was a thief. Peter Piper picked a peck and woodchuck. So now you're all caught up. Some people, you know, after they meet me, they think I'm arrogant. I think they're lucky I talk to them. And it's not that I think I'm better than anyone else. I honestly don't. I think I'm just a little bit more aware of my divine nature, and I accept it. And they don't want to do that. And what I have found is this. People who refuse to accept their own divine nature hate it when you accept yours. Oh, they don't like you doing that at all. Look at them, you can have that, and I can't. Well, you can't. Well, I don't want it. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so the whole idea, I have an issue with government issue. Because I don't want to be their employee. I'm not bound by them. They're supposed to be my servants. Why should you have to go get issued government ID when in order to get this government issued ID, what do you have to do?
Apply.
Submit an application. Who here knows what the word submit means legally? Besides me. It means you are abandoning something. Submit means to leave to another's discretion, which is an abandonment, or to abandon to leave to another's discretion, or to abandon your will to another party. So when you submit, you are abandoning to the government. Now they want you to apply, and legally, apply means to beg, plead, petition, implore, or entreat. You're begging. So you go to them, you've got a body of rights, you could easily just fly anywhere in this country on your rights, but then you abandon them, you beg them for permission, and now they say, okay, you can go do everything you were doing before on your rights, but now you're operating with our permission, but we give it so freely you won't even see the difference. Not until it's time for them to start reeling you in. And at that point, I think you're all going to find yourself going, what the hell is this? Why are we asking permission from our servants to engage in our rights? That's what I see as one of the big problems. And some people, they are just so happy being dependent upon the government. Trying to get through to some of them is absolutely impossible. And there's this huge political correctness thing happening, isn't there? It's been going on for like 20 years. It's flipping ludicrous. About 10 years ago in Toronto, there was this group called Women Against Violence Against Women. I'm not for violence. I'm not for violence against women, but these were cut off the penis kind of women for looking at them wrong. These were some angry militant women. I wanted to go and support their Take Back the Night March, where they show that they're not scared to walk down the street at midnight, provided they have police escorts and 10,000 other women around. So there, I wanted to go, and I told a little joke about attending this, wanting to go. I got a true story. I got surrounded. You can't march. You can't march. So I just said, okay, fine. But the joke I told, I said, so I went anyways. I wanted to support him. I didn't want my face to offend him, so I wore my balaclava. I thought it was kind of funny. It didn't go over too well with this one woman at my show. She came up to me afterwards, and she surrounded me. And she said, you can't make rape funny. Now, I didn't try getting into discussing the difference between the act and commenting on the act. But when she said you can't make rape funny, to me, there's a part of my brain, oh, that's a challenge. So I started thinking about it, and I said, well, what if it's a clown raping a mime in front of a police station, and all the cops are watching this thinking it's a street theater performance? So they're yelling out the window, take it like a mime! And the mime couldn't do anything about it because of his piss-poor career choice and his dedication to his craft. What about that? I said, well, that might not be a castle in the kingdom of funny, but clearly I'm staking claim in the land of irony and absurdity. And then she asked me that question, which for the longest time I had no idea ever how to respond to it. It always left me speechless. But then I realized the trick is to leave them speechless. So when she looked at me and she said, what's wrong with you? I looked at her and I said, my mommy used to make dumplings. And she went, I said, yeah. If we were having ham, she put cheese in them. If we were having chicken, she put almonds in them. She went, that's nice. I said, I didn't think so. I thought they were boiled dough and Mom was too drunk or lazy to bake.